porn stars, and presidents. Not one would be the wiser. 100 million people will buy what I want them to buy and do pretty much damn well anything I figure they ought to do. See, nano cells are real small. 1,000 times smaller than these dust particulates. You inhale it, they go to work, replicating, spreading like a virus, multiplying in exponentials. 6 months' time, I could have 100 million people. Converted ditch diggers, porn stars, and presidents. Not one would be the wiser. 100 million people will buy what I want them to buy and do pretty much damn well anything I figure they ought to do. See, nano cells are real.
This is a microbot. It doesn't look like much, but when it links up with the rest of its pals, things get a little more interesting. The microbots are controlled with this neurotransmitter. I think what I want them to do, they do it. The applications of this tech are limitless. Construction. What used to take teams of people working by hand for months or years can now be accomplished by one person. And that's just the beginning. How about transportation? Microbots can move anything, anywhere, with ease. If you can think it, the microbots can do it. The only limit is your imagination. Microbots.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? And we're synthesizing new nanomaterials and nanostructures. And you'll be learning more about the nanoscale in this exciting frontier through the Nano Kids Lesson Adventure program. Now that's the color of the solution that we've been looking for. Good job. The last thing that I want to do is bore you with a bunch of technical stuff, but let me take you on a brief tour of what can be done through this exciting new science and engineering. One of the key concepts in nanotechnology is to build from the bottom up. Generally what we do is we build from the top down, where we might take a tree and cut it down and make a table or a chair. But in nanotechnology, what happens is much like what happens in nature, where molecules will come together to form larger structures called cells, and those then will assemble into larger structures and eventually the tree, the bottom-up fabrication. Using this technique, we could think of building devices like electronic devices that are ultra-small and ultra-fast, called nanoelectronics. Or you might think of using this for transmitting energy by electrons down a carbon nanotube for alternate energy sources, or using it in medicine to interact with the human body in ways that might be less toxic than what we use now. Or even having nano devices like nano cars that could just drive across the surface and deliver those small entities one at a time, exactly like what we want to do in bottom-up fabrication. And I invite you to come and discover with us the way you can participate in this new technology and make a difference.
For the first time ever, scientists have been able to steer nanorobots through dense tissue prevalent inside the vitreous of the eye. So far, these so-called nanopropellers were only able to travel through models or fluids, but not through real tissue. With this, science is one step further towards nanorobots becoming minimally invasive tools for precisely delivering medicine to where it is needed.
So the vision of these nanopropeller is that one day we will load drugs and they will carry these drugs and propel through the vitreous to the retina and release drug very locally in a targeted way.
Dr. Tian Chu and his colleagues tested the robots on a dissected pig's eye at the Eye Hospital in Tübingen, their collaboration partner. Developing the Nano robot with its special features was done at the Max Planck Institute for Intelligent Systems in Stuttgart.
So here is actually a model of our nano propeller. It has a spherical head and a helical tail. The helical tail is the important part because when it rotates, it will translate this rotation to forward propulsion.
For the Stuttgart scientists, this is not the first nano robot they have developed. For several years now, they have been creating different types of nanorobots using a sophisticated 3D manufacturing process developed by the Micro, Nano and Molecular Systems lab. They build their nanorobots carrying tiny particles of magnetic material, such as iron, so they can be steered magnetically. But this time, they also needed to add a special coating, a difficult task given that the nanorobot is 200 times smaller than a human hair is wide.
The coating is very important and was developed by Jiguan Wu, who was a Humboldt Fellow in the lab, and it consists of two layers. There's first a solid layer, which is chemically bound, followed by a liquid oil layer, which really minimizes the adhesion to the biological.
करें और लोगों को बताएं कि अपने अजीज़ों को हॉस्पिटल ना लेके जाएं, घर में कोई ना कोई ट्रीटमेंट करें, वरना लोग जो हैं हॉस्पिटल में भी जाके लोगों को मार ही रहे हैं। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। देखिए आपके यहाँ पे कोरोना से नहीं अगर लोग मर रहे तो ये हॉस्पिटलों में लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, दूसरे इंसानों को किस तरह खुद हाथों से मार के ये लोगों की तादाद बढ़ा रहे हैं। तो प्लीज़ इस वीडियो को शेयर करें और लोगों को बताएं कि अपने अजीज़ों को हॉस्पिटल ना लेके जाएं, घर में कोई ना कोई ट्रीटमेंट करें, वरना लोग जो हैं हॉस्पिटल में भी जाके लोगों को मार ही रहे हैं। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। देखिए आप